Looking at the South China Sea now, China says it took, quote, control measures against 2 Philippine Coast Guard vessels that entered waters near the disputed Sabina Shoal. The incident occurred today, that's less than 24 hours after another collision around the same shoal on Sunday. Beijing says the 2 Philippine vessels, quote, illegally intruded into waters around Sabina Shoal and approached the Chinese Coast Guard vessels in a dangerous manner. Early in the day, China defended its Coast Guard's actions against a Philippine ship in the South China Sea over the weekend. Actions that Manila has described as aggressive, unprofessional and illegal. The Philippines Maritime Council said Chinese vessels blocked, rammed and fired water cannon at a resupply ship on its way to Sabina Shoal on Sunday. Beijing today blamed the Philippines for the Sunday collision at sea, saying the Philippine vessel had ignored warnings before deliberately approaching and ramming into its law enforcement boat. Indonesia has commenced this year's multinational military exercise, the Super Garuda Shield. The 2-week-long drills, which used to involve only Indonesian and American troops, will see more than 20 nations as participants and observers. Those watching the event include Malaysia and the Philippines. The drills progressively expanded since 2022 to involve more U.S. allies in the Indo-Pacific. Several hundred troops from other nations will be participating in exercise Super Garuda Shield. The bulk of the attendees are from the U.S. and Indonesia. America has sent some 2,000 troops, while Indonesia has deployed about 4,000 personnel. The drills come as China increasingly becomes more aggressive in its actions in the Indo-Pacific, particularly, as we just heard, over territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Exercise Super Garuda Shield is taking place in various locations around Indonesia and will conclude on the 6th of September. And for more, CNA's Chandni Vatvani joins us live from Jakarta. Chandni, this Super Garuda Shield is taking place against a backdrop of increased tensions in the Indo-Pacific and, before we cross to you, in the South China Sea more specifically. How have these tensions impacted the focus of these drills?
Well, we know that there has been concern about the potential of an escalation in the South China Sea, given the dispute between vessels from China and the Philippines over the past year. Now, we also know that this isn't the first time that the drills are happening against a backdrop of increased tensions. And with regard to this aspect, in fact, the Indonesian military spokesman Rudi Hernawan said that the exercises were not related to the South China Sea and sought to increase military cooperation among countries, especially the interoperability skills. Having said that, Charles Flynn, commanding general of the U.S. Army Pacific, said last week in a statement that the exercises would show commitment to a safe, stable and secure Indo-Pacific. Now, the training exercises have been held since 2006 and they have progressively expanded since 2022. And this year's program includes academic exchanges, development workshops, a command and control exercise and field training that culminates with a live fire event. There will also be airborne operations, joint strikes, land operations, and focus on cybersecurity exercises for the very first time.
As you mentioned, this cybersecurity for the very first time, there's focus on it. Well, not surprising, given that, I suppose, defense and security, there are multiple fronts that need to be controlled and managed now. The Garuda Shield will be featuring programs related to online defense in relation to that. What do we know about these programs?
That's right. Cyber threats have proved to be an increasingly major challenge in the region. In Indonesia, for example, the country's temporary national data center experienced a ransomware attack earlier this year in June, and this attack disrupted over 280 public services, and it crippled some, including immigration, airport services, and online student registration. Now, the services were disrupted for up to 1 week or even more. And so the cybersecurity exercises are aimed at better preparing participating countries for cyber threats by building capacity for multinational cyber operations. And so the training will be looking at exercising concepts to offensive and defensive cyberspace operations. And we know that personnel from Indonesia, the US, France, Singapore, and the UK are participating.
And thanks to Chandni Vatvani reporting live to us there from Jakarta.